What's up, everybody? Happy Father's Day to everybody. Whoops, sorry. Happy Father's Day. So, I got my TankG. You can see it down at the corner right here. So, I tried to get as close as I could to the Fractal. Not bad at all for $53 versus $1,200. But so I'm gonna go over some of the theory and approach. The theory is all the same, but a lot of people are asking me about my clean playing now, and I don't usually play like that on the channel. I like to shred, but anyway, it's and I did 4 patches. $53 pedal, everybody. Here's the other cleans. Go back to this one. First of all, I got some news. I'm being offered a gig with George Lynch's backup guitar player for a band over on the west coast of here. It's an 80s band, and I might take him up on the offer. I do have dates coming where I will be opening up with George in August. And I have some other news. I've been talking to Jim Crean from Vinny Appice's band, who has done records with Rudy Sarzo and all kinds of people. So far on the board, we're trying to put a band together. Me, Robert Sarzo, Jim Crean, Patrick from Ingve has already... So me, Jim, and Patrick are a definite go. And I've been talking to Robert Sarzo lately about doing a run over here. And I've also contacted Kip Winger for bass and Dave Spitz from Sabbath White Lion on bass. And Mr. Brad Gillis, if Robert doesn't want to do it. I want to make this happen and do a small run. A tribute to all the bands that we've played in over the years, as well as... couple originals. So, a lot of you guys like this kind of tone. Said it was a nice break. And then some people were like, and Jim's coming on the channel. I'm gonna talk with him. Maybe we call him now. But I'm going to get into my clean playing and talk about, it's the same theory, but a different approach. Let's see what time it is. I don't know if he has a gig. Let's see. Let's call him. I don't think he'll answer because I know he's busy. Let's see. Jim Crean from Vinny Appice Band. Let's call him. Hey, what's up, buddy?
Hey, man, how are you?
Good. So, are you busy?
No.
I was recording a video. I'm like, let me call Jim because it's Sunday. You got kids, by the way?
Yeah, I do, yeah.
Happy Father's Day, brother.
Thank you, brother.
Yeah, but I just took pictures with Tristan. I was like, man, let's, I've been talking because I know we've been talking, and I don't want to let the whole cat out of the bag yet, but I was talking to so far Patrick is guaranteed, like he's committed. Me, you are committed. I also contacted, if Robert doesn't do it, I contacted Brad Gillis and Kip Winger.
Oh, shit. Two great.
Dude,
Great choices.
how sick of a band would that be?
That'd be amazing.
Yeah.
We could do songs from each of the catalogs, you know?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking too. I was like, man, we could do something like really cool with this, you know. I wouldn't want to do like the dance stuff I did, but you know, like all the bands that I filled in and played. And then I was like, well, you know, Robert was telling me that, you know, I didn't know him and Rudy went out with Queensryche. Did you know that?
I didn't know that, no.
I had a conversation with him the other day, and he was like, yeah, me and Rudy were playing with Queensryche, and then I don't know what happened. He said that was like 10 years ago. I was like, I didn't hear anything about that. But I was like, man, we could do a small run to test it out, maybe throw in like 2 originals or something.
Sure.
And then, you know, get
covers of all the everybody's career, like we could do with me. We'll do some Dio and stuff like that, Sabbath.
Yeah, and throw in some originals that you've done too, you know.
I got some originals, yeah. I play with Mike Tramp, I play with Phil Lewis, LA Guns. So, you know, you could throw some, all kinds of different shit. This could be really good. And then we could always keep changing guys around, too. You know what I mean? Like, we could always get, like, the next run, we could get, like, I don't know, you know, I could get Robbie from Great White on one of them. I can get this guy.
Robbie Crane?
No, well, I know him, too, but Robbie Lochner from Great White. You know, Jack's Great White.
Oh, yeah.
He's always trying to do stuff with me. I can get Alex from Quiet Riot, you know.
Yeah, Alex is
a friend of mine.
Yeah, he's a cool dude, man. I haven't talked to him or done anything. The only person I talked to Sullivan about a month ago. That was it. And then, you know, and he's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, he's like, "You're alive?" I go, dude, I retired young and stuff. And George said the same thing to me. He's like, you retired at 27? I'm like, dude, dance music plays well.
I mean, we could always get George too.
Oh, that might be something as well. Because I know
George is always looking to work.
Yeah, he was saying, I talked to Eric, and he said that he's going to do a small Florida run in August.
Yeah, with George, right?
Yeah. And when do you guys stop your tour?
Okay, so Eric's trying to get us stuff in August too. I don't know what the hell he's doing, but he said, well, we're touring right up until August is what we have right now.
Okay.
But then Eric said he's getting us stuff in August, but that's, you know, but that would work out good. I could do our stuff in Florida, stay out there and work with you guys and do that thing.
Yeah, that would be
September or whatever.
That's a good idea too. Because he was saying something about, you know, the other tribute band about opening up for George and doing some other stuff. And then I guess the guitar player that's working with George is from a band called Sunset Strip, and those guys all left. And I guess the guitar player is playing with George, but this guitar player has a band as well. And he said, you know, I want you to play with these guys. So I was like, yeah, I'll check it out. So it's kind of weird, like how everything happens so fast. You know how it is. Like when it rains, it pours.
Well, I like the supergroup idea. I like getting named guys who gets this thing together. We could, like, I think it'll draw really well. Eric will be able to book it, you know, at least get us 4 dates.
Yeah.
And, you know, just have to have a good lineup, you know. I mean, if Robert don't want to do it or can't do it or whatever, we could always look at, like I said, we can look at Robbie Lochner. We can look at George Lynch. You said, who'd you say, Kip Winger on bass?
Yeah.
And what?
And Dave Spitz that played with Sabbath, White Lion.
Yeah.
His brother from Anthrax. He
Anthrax
lives.
too,
yeah, and he lives here. Dave lives here.
Okay, well we can get him. Like you said, you got the Yngwie drummer. I've met him before. He came out to see us play at the Funky Biscuit years ago.
Yeah, he's a great guy.
He's a great guy and great drummer. And then there's who's the other guitar player you said out there?
Guitar players.
I mean, we got you. I mean, that's all we need.
I was talking about Nick from also Yngwie, who can do keyboards as well as, you know, great backups. And then that would add a whole nother thing. He's got NZM and Yngwie. So, I mean, we could pull off some of that stuff too.
Yeah, we could do a lot of that stuff.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. All right, well, work on it, man. Get it together. I'm in.
Yeah, me too. And Patrick's in, so we got three, and we'll see what these guys say. I know it's Father's Day and everything, so I won't keep you. But I just wanted to catch up. I figured it's Sunday, and you might not be doing anything. But yeah, I think this is a great idea, and I
Great idea.
yeah, because there's not a lot of like these super groups together where they go on the clubs, and I think a lot of people would like to see this.
Especially if it's marketed that way, you know, you tell, say all the guys' names, where they're from. People will be like, "Oh, that's cool," and then you play a couple songs from everybody's career. I think that'll
Yeah,
pull it off.
and I know Patrick's has played with everybody. He's filled in for like bands like Steelheart and everybody. So like, there's that whole other gamut of same like filling in. I wonder if Alex would do it. He's a really
Alex
good guy.
Play, right?
Yeah.
He's a very good friend of mine. I talked to him yesterday.
Oh yeah.
I talk to him every week. Yeah.
Nice. I wonder if he would be interested as well.
I'll ask him. I would ask him.
Yeah, yeah. If Robert doesn't do it, maybe we talk to Alex or George.
Try and get Robert. I mean, because he's not really. Alex is so busy with, and actually when we were talking about Rudy, he's so busy all the time too. You know, those guys are just busy.
Yay.
But I could get Alex in a heartbeat. I mean, there's Alex. I know Rowan Robertson real well. He's been on my records from Dio. I got Tracy T from Dio. I got pretty much anybody from the Dio camp. I got who else? A.D. Zimmer from Lou Graham.
Oh, Lou Graham.
He's a bass player.
Yeah, and we got some. I forgot the bass player, the original bass player from Styx lives here too, and Milton Manor's over by me too. I haven't talked to him in a while.
I mean, it'd be easier having guys that live out there because I can fly. I'll just fly in, you know.
Yeah.
I fly for free, so I'm good that way. So.
Yeah, we could. Yeah, we do one or two rehearsals and just go out and do the thing. I mean, because everyone.
For a couple days before rehearse, and then just do like four or five dates.
Yeah, yeah. I think this will be really good, and then we get a test idea, and if it works out well, I mean.
If it works out well, you and I could just we can always revolve guys too, you know, or keep your drummer as steady. The three of us as steady guys, and always get different guitar players, different bass players. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this will be awesome. All right, man.
This could become a thing.
Yeah, yeah, because it'll fill in for the times that whatever. Because like during the summer, I'm not really busy writing either. It's weird. It's like seasonal. It's the same thing. Like I just finished Grace. I forget her name. Grace Jones. Remember her?
Oh yeah.
So she's here recording an album, and her guitar player had a heart attack. So they called me. They called me up and they said, "Can you finish the album?" And so I went in. Guess who was? Julian Lennon was there.
Oh, that's cool.
Doing backing vocals and stuff. And
very cool.
Yeah, he asked me to do some stuff, and I was like, no. He was kind of.
Get some name guys like that for this thing because it's better to name it better.
Yeah. This might be able to turn into something. Where you said we could do it once a year, kind of like the Sabbath Nights thing, and go out.
We could do it a couple times a year. And I could probably get us an East Coast run too.
Oh yeah.
I can get us like 4 or 5 dates on the East Coast here.
That would be cool.
You know?
Yeah.
This could turn into something pretty cool.
Yeah.
There's a really cool name for it, you just gotta think of a really cool name, Hollywood All Stars or something like that. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's a great name too.
Something like that. Just something like that.
Yeah.
Or the Florida All Star Band or whatever. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Something. Florida Metal Gods or something. I don't, something cool. You come up with it so people know it's a show,
Yeah, and I think they would like to see some new stuff as well as all that old stuff from the past from what everyone's done. I think it'll be
for sure.
Yeah, because you don't usually get the opportunity to do that. Like with Vinny, you have to play the Sabbath Dio stuff. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and even though me and Vinny we're on 5 records together, we don't play any of that stuff because it's.
Do you know Carmine well?
Well, yeah. I played with Carmine and Vinny in Drum Wars for 15 years.
Oh yeah, I didn't know you knew Carmine.
So Vinny, and Carmine were in a band together called Drum Wars. Vinny, it's called Appice. Now then it was called Drum Wars, and we changed it to Appice Brothers. But yeah, Vinny and Carmine are like my best friends. I know Carmine actually more than I know Vinny.
Really, Carmine's a funny guy. A lot of people don't know how funny of a sense of humor he has.
Oh, he's great, man. Carmine's the best.
Because him and Vinny are like They're the same, but like opposites. Kind of. Vinny's kind of quiet until you like. I didn't know Vinny, and I talked to him a few times when we went out with you guys. But it was funny because like he doesn't know me, so I'm not gonna speak to him until he speaks to me, just out of respect. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And once he starts talking, he's really friendly. But Carmine, he's like a prankster, jokester, kind of funny.
I'll come right up to you and start talking. Hey man, what the fuck's going on? But Carmine's on all my records. If you those records, both of those records, your son has. Carmine's on those records.
He won't let me touch him without him.
Go look it. When he's in bed, sneak him. We do Passion by Rod Stewart on there.
Oh
With
yeah.
Tony Franklin's on bass. It's me, Carmine. And then the other one we do, it's got,
Man, I wonder what he's doing. Is he still playing?
Tony, yeah, he's all over. He's playing with Lou right now, Lou Graham.
Nice.
So, and then what's his name is on, Mike Tramp's on the one with me. We do, a song me and Mike wrote called Can't Find My Way. And then, yeah, those guys are all over my record.
I'll have to
steal those records from your son.
Shit. I'll have to wait till he goes to sleep and take them out.
I'll send you some tracks. I'll send you the tracks and the videos and stuff.
All right, man. I'll have to look it up too. Like if I can.
Yeah, just type it up.
I'll find it on YouTube. All right, man. I'll let you go so you can do the family thing today.
You got it, brother. Well, let's keep working on this. Work on this all week, man, and let's try and knock this thing down, and we can get a hold of Eric and maybe see if we can get this thing at least on the books and advertised and all that stuff,
All right. I talked to him yesterday, so tomorrow I'll call everybody up and then like push on them and see what.
Work on everybody. I'll help you if you need some guys too, and then let's have Eric call you. Maybe you and Eric call me together or something. But I'll be around tomorrow all day. So.
All right. Awesome. All right. Thanks, man.
For calling me.
All right. Bye.
See you, bro.
All right. Bye. Jim Crean from Sabbath Nights that works with Vinny Appice and worked with everybody from Carmine to, you heard him, Tony Franklin, Alex Grassi. So we're going to try to put this together. But I'm just a cover guy. Let me see what this one sounds like. So now, for me, let's go into live mode. That sounds a little better. So I'll save that. I'm in live mode. Now I'm in play mode. That's how fast the TankG. That's how fast the TankG can do. And that's the other thing I wanted to say to some of the guys that come on here and bash me. I didn't get a whole lot of blowback from Rick Beato, but I don't need 3 or 5 million subscribers to call these people. They're my friends. So, and how am I friends with all these people? You have to start asking yourself. And he's played with Carmine. Carmine's on tour with Rod Stewart. These are some of the biggest names in the industry. I wish this light would be. I don't know what the heck this does. So I know this is going to be a little bit of a long video. So the approach that I use in the playing clean video. So let me explain something. I'm going to take all my minor arpeggio positions off of starting with the B because it's in the F. I'm going to slide that, 5th string, 4th string, 3rd string, 3rd string, 2nd string, 1st string, 1st string. So there's the E minor. Then you have the C here, which is F sharp. F sharp minor. A minor. All the way back up to the B. It's the same pattern. So you have to keep that in mind. Now the other part of this is to keep in mind that because I'm using this F sharp off the F sharp, that puts me into a jazzy kind of tone because I'm using the C sharp minor. Which means that I could throw in a D major minor pentatonic, D major pentatonic. It's got a good tone to it. So when I'm playing this, I do use circle of fifths and I play off the 5 and 1s a lot, but I do it with arpeggios. So if you look at this, pretty. So this is the bottom part of the arpeggio, which is a chord, 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 chord. And then you got stuff like this. Or, and then you skip the E. So it bounces around this way, and it's a great way to use to bounce around. Now the other thing that I do a lot is I'll take, if you're in G major, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'll take a 6 and a 7, and I use open string. The E will tie it in. And I use this, and that's first string, third string. Now it's getting darker. Let's see if we can push that up a little. So it's first string and third string. So I'm using the arpeggios, and if you look, B, E, E, and B. That's how I manipulate the scales, is through arpeggios with the circle of fifths. And it's like chords. The arpeggio is an arpeggiated chord. So now you got this. The other part of this is chord manipulation, I call it. And what do I mean by that? I don't know why that keeps going back down. So if I play like these kind of chords like that are as like a 6 and a 7, when I do that on the pentatonic and I forget about the tuning of it, notes tie in back to the pentatonic, even if it's not in there. Harmonic minor. So I'm using all of my theory, but in a very basic way, where I'm not playing very overcomplicated. And this is the key to playing like this, is not to overcomplicate it. Oh, I'm out of tune. You have to always remember, you got E's. These are the same notes. So you can end, watch this. You can use that as a starting point after an ending point, and it sounds totally different. So there's the B, right? Watch this. And then I use the pentatonics around there. So it's a very... The other thing I do is when I play off these 6 and 7, I can add this in between. It's like a backwards D chord. So those become diminished. And those are 7s. And then you have like notes. So if I go, that's an A. So I use the A to double the A. So I'm manipulating the chords through position in the way that I play. Now this is all just off the cuff, and I'm trying to show you without thinking about trying to play, so that I can show you what I'm doing. But that's basically how this is done. So like you see my first finger, right? So then if I play like a D off that, and then the pinky. Even those double stops. They're all out of the arpeggio. And the other thing, I'm moving it all over the neck. even hear. See how I take this note and build it into a chord. So I end on the A and I go back to the A. So that's basically what I'm doing. So I wanted to explain, it's, again, I don't know how many times I say this, it's not what you play, it's how you play it. So all this ends up being, I took this off when I was talking. Try to get that so I can take the pop off. Let me see. Check, 1, 2. There you go. A lot better, no pop. So again, if I take this Ingve thing, and I play it and add it in there. That's all arpeggio. And I said it before, the same like you're learning patterns, play them inside the arpeggio. Those are all the chord notes, and you can't go wrong with the arpeggiated chord notes. You can't. You get your flat sevens. You can add in there. If you want to make it more bluesy. Add some open strings. More chromatic. More bluesy. Want it more jazzy, you stay. It's a great way to play and mess around and noodle. And all I'm taking is those the arpeggios. And I'm messing around out of those positions. So once in a while you'll see me go into the A position because I know my A, B, F sharp, they're all pentatonic. So if I don't want it diminished sounding, I can move my pinky up without knowing what the chords are. Go through my scale notes. So I hope this explains a lot. I hope you liked hearing from Jim Crean, Crean. He played with everybody. He's like a legend, and he doesn't get enough credit as a vocalist because a lot of people don't talk about him because the 80s and all that stuff is gone. But he's been a staple in the music. You heard him. He knows everybody. So we're gonna put this together and make this happen. I'll call Eric tomorrow. See? So, there you go. Hope you enjoyed the TankG with the clean sounds, mimicking my Fractal. So, if I go out on the road, I'm probably bringing the Fractal as well as the 5150 and the TeamU. Yes. Long live metal. there you go. Hope you enjoyed it, and it's kind of glad to see that some of the stuff is actually panning out. Where I'm, it's not the backlash that I care about. It's that the people that come on here and do the backlashing don't actually go and look at other videos or study who that they're following. It's like Phil from Wings of Pegasus. I mean, he's an alright guy. I don't even know him, but his musical career is none. He's a YouTuber. Rick Beato, musical career is none. He makes all his money off YouTube. And here's the hypocrisy of it. Let me I know this is a really long video. But there's a guy I was talking to with let's see. Dennis. So I woke up this morning and I fell back asleep. His name is Paul Warren Music. And I sent this to Tennis Nuts. Supercharge your playing. The first thing he says is secret sauce. Nobody uses that word but me that I've ever seen, especially in the shredding and legato and all that. Secret sauce. I'm showing like this, the cleans. That it's the same theory, a different approach to it using arpeggios. And like I said, you can take the shred stuff, apply it differently to a clean sound, and create that. And that's what I do for demos and stuff and songwriting. But that helps to explain some of that. Now I see Rick Beato has Andy Woods. One of my favorite guitar players, Andy Woods. I think he's the best in the world. I've been saying that for probably since I came back on a year. He's unbelievable, Andy Woods. I used to watch him before. Now he was just on Tim Pierce. And nothing against these guys, but Tim Pierce just had him, and Tim Pierce doesn't have 5 million subs. But my point of this is, did Rick communicate with Tim Pierce? I don't think so. I don't think they're this smart. And say, listen, where are your views on your video with Andy Woods? Has it diminished? Because I want to put Andy Woods on my show, but I don't want to take away from the views that you've done on saying he's one of the greatest guitar players in the world. So I want to have him on my show, but I don't want it to affect your analytics. Did they communicate like this and actually plan this out and say, oh no, you can put them on now, my channel on that video, it's dropped? Because we can all see that as creators. You can see your analytics and if it drops. But again, if he didn't, that's a disservice to his friend because he has more subscribers, Rick, and he's going to put Andy Woods, and that's going to take views away from Tim's channel. I'm not trying to start a fight. I'm trying to explain the hypocrisy and how this works. I wouldn't be surprised if Andy Woods is on Red Scholl's channel next because they work all together. Brett Papa, I don't know if Brett Papa knows Tim and all them, but you got Brett, Tim, Rhett, and Rick. They seem to be the four big ones when it comes to the Nashville, Atlanta guys. And, you know, and then here you go. Here's another point. I'm just trying to be honest with you guys because a lot of people aren't honest. Now, I just promoted Kenny Ryan Earl. So I've woke Patrick Johansson up from Yngwie, who's played with Steelheart and many other bands. I had Carlos from Louis Fonsi, Steve Vai on here. I had Kenny Rhino Earl from Manowar, who just played with Phil X and Billy Sheehan, which I almost called and said, hey, put them on. And then now you heard Jim Crean. It's worked with Michael Tramp and Rudy and all these guys, Alex Grassi. He's a staple in the music world. I don't have to get permission to call them. They're my friends. They're on here. We're trying to even do something musical. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm just showing you how I play, how I write, in my 2 cents on the musical world community and how it's being conned and played. I don't like that because none of those guys are talking to any of these people about playing with them. Nobody plays with these guys. Nobody knows these guys like that. They have to call their management. They have to get what can they ask him and what they can't ask him. And you see, Jim's a great guy, another great guy. So, and then he was talking about, he's been talking to Eric too. So I got to call Eric, find out what we're going to do about this, and maybe we can make this a national thing. West Coast, East Coast, all the way up to New York, all the way down to Florida, and then across in the Cali. That would be an awesome, awesome thing. So I'll keep up on that with the updates. But again, I didn't get a lot of backlash, but some people are like, why are you bashing them? I'm not bashing them. I'm stating facts, truths. I can't find anything on Rick Beato. Nothing about his family, nothing. And I'm not, I just want to know where he came from and how he got in. Did he weasel his way in? Did he con his way in? I mean, or is he legit? I just asking questions. No offense to him, because kudos to him for actually getting into the system on his own. He got in. However, he used social media. I don't use Jason Todd. I don't care. I'm not saying that it was a bad thing, but I'm saying he's not what everybody thinks he is. He's not an expert. And nobody was calling him to produce records. Those are facts. That's undeniable, unarguable. What I'm saying is there's a lot of people, like, again, here's another great point. You guys hear me with the Tom Bukovic stuff. Now, Kenny Reiner Earl just played with Phil X and Billy Sheehan. If he really wanted to know who I was, and he's a big deal in Nashville, he could have went to that show and asked all three of them who I was. Did he? No. It was a perfect opportunity for him, wasn't it? Hey, who's this Chris guy? You guys know him? Yeah. And then guess what? Bubble burst. So I hope you guys enjoyed the show. I hope you like the facts, some of the points that I try to bring out. Now, I will tell you, I'm not right about everything. I've said some stuff that I didn't go so far deep into research. Like, I didn't know Rick Beato's big video was the pitch thing with his kid, because I didn't watch that. I don't know the history of Rick as far as when his YouTube channel took off or why it took off. But I do know that his father and sisters were heavily into the music aspect, but yet they're not listed as anything in music. Like, his dad they don't tell you what his dad does or what his ties were. Like Dan Huff, he don't tell you who his dad was, does he? My dad was like the biggest guy in Nashville. He controlled sessions. He was the number one session guy. He controlled the Nashville Pops. He was everybody in the world knew my father. And I used to grab his hand and walk into these sessions with him. Hence my foot in the door. And here you go. Frank Zappa's kid, Dweezil Zappa. Is he a bad guitar player? No, he's a great guitar player. But what has he done? Nothing. He's Frank Zappa's kid. Now this is where, and he's done albums, but I have more respect over like a Wolfgang Van Halen, who earned his way into Van Halen as far as his playing. And then when I saw Mammoth and he was doing all the instruments, I was like, holy crap, this kid's good. His vocals are good. Everything about that band was good. So kudos to him for not, his name is his name, but he was outside the box from what his father was. And I understand that he didn't want help from his dad. He wanted to do it on his own. So more respects and props to Wolfgang Van Halen. Just like some of these other people use their parents' name, like Will Smith's kid and this kid and that kid and Beyonce's kid. Would Beyonce's kid, Jay-Z's kid, really got that part in the Disney movie if it wasn't for them and who they were? No. Would they have gotten into country radio if Jay-Z didn't pay $20 million to the radio stations? No. These are just facts, simple facts. Is rock and roll and metal dead in America? I don't think so. I think it's like just kind of festering and rebuilding. And that's what I want to do. I want to help promote music. I want to help people come to see what real guitar was about and the shows and playing. Like we were talking Jim. Jim's play with everybody. We can have guys come in and out. So like at a show, maybe Mike Tramp gets up and we do some White Lion songs. It will be really cool. One of the coolest things that has come around in a long time. So if Alex comes in, we can do a bunch of Quiet Riot and stuff that he wrote, as opposed to the stuff that Carlos Cavazo or Randy wrote. We can do his stuff. We can do Jim's stuff. We can do Robert Sarzo stuff. We could do some of his old band, Hurricane. And then if he gets Kelly Hansen up there, we could do some Foreigner. I don't care what it is, an all-star. So this would be a great thing, and Robert would be a great addition to this. And I had a conversation to record it, but I don't think he knew I was recording, so I deleted it. So I hope you enjoyed the video. I hope you enjoyed the conversation with Jim. Check out Jim Crean, Crean. He's got a bunch of videos and stuff, and the Sabbath Night stuff. Good dude. Awesome guy. So we're going to try to make this happen, and then hopefully we can come out to a city by you guys and do a show, and then I get to meet everybody that's on my channel eventually. So peace out. Enjoy your weekend. Happy Father's Day to everybody. Stay safe and enjoy your week. Peace.